Hello, world. Welcome to the 39.6 Facebook Live Finance Show. I'm your host, Victor Mangona. This is the show that teaches you how to make your money work for you so you don't have to work for your money. Today's topic, episode number 38. I can't read. Rent out your home for 2 months? What is your price? Thank you for all the people who joined our Facebook community. We are up around 340 something people today, August 13th, 2020. Hopefully we can get over 400 in the next week, or maybe hit 500 in the next week. We've had a good 9 days of growth now of over 200 more people. So that's been awesome. All right, so without further ado, episode 38. Rent out your home for 2 months. What's your price? So for those of us, or those of you out there who don't know, we've Airbnb'd our house before, actually for a long time. If you are in the chat, if you could say something, I'm trying to see if I can see people watching. Please make a comment. That would be awesome. And let me know that you can see me or you can hear me. Preferably both. That would be great. All right. And I can watch it on my phone. I think this will work too. Okay. So we used to Airbnb our house a lot. All of 2019, our house was Airbnb'd the entire year, except for I think 6 or 7 days in early November. But we had to rent it out full time, basically the entire rest of the year. We were planning to move back into it at the end of October, beginning of November, and then we had just moved everything back into our house, including 2 kids and the au pair, and us, and our dog. So they were all. It was a big move back home, and we had just settled in, and then we decided to let another person rent out our place. I had listed I left the house listed at like $900 a day, a super high price, so that we wouldn't really get any bookings because we were looking forward to staying home. But we, after just a week of being home, we got a request for 2 months at like $900 a day. And then I think it ended up getting stretched out to about 3 months, which is very common whenever people need a place for 2 months because of something that's going on in their house and renovations or whatnot. It just takes longer. So we moved back in at the end of January or beginning of February, and we've been here ever since. So we've been here for February, March, April, May, June, July, and half of August. So we've been home now for about 7.5 months or so. That's actually the longest we've been in the same place, like in our home, at least for a long time. But I kind of forgot that we had our place still listed because I hadn't gotten any requests in a while, a lot because of COVID. And our price, we never actually brought our price down while other people have. But a couple hours ago, I got a request for about 6 weeks, or might actually be more like 8 weeks. And often when you get requests, the first thing they ask is, will we accept a super low price? But they didn't, which is always a good sign. And I'm going to talk with the person tomorrow, but I was able to get their contact information. And when you have somebody's phone number, you can actually do a reverse phone lookup. So we always screen our tenants substantially before we make any bookings. And usually people who don't ask about lowering the price, and that price is at $900 a day. Usually these are pretty good tenants, because I don't think I would spend $900 a day for like 2 months to stay anywhere, at least not at this point. But yeah, so these are people moving from another state, and often people are moving to Texas because, a lot of people are moving to Texas. I'm going to have a whole separate episode about moving to Texas financially and geographic arbitrage. But I did some just kind of reconnaissance work, and people can definitely afford the $27,000 a month. So Now we're considering doing it for the months of September and October. We had just gotten nicely settled into our place, have this podcast studio set up, and maybe have to pack the whole deal up, but we will see. It's a tough question because we're quite comfortable. We have our 2 toddlers, a 1 and 3-year-old, and we have our new nanny who started this past week, and everything's finally kind of just settled into place. And we have our new car. So we have 3 cars here. We have a nanny, 2 kids at home. My wife works from home quite a bit, and I'm still doing my job at my place. So moving now would be different from other times when the kids or the toddler was in school and my wife worked at the hospital. Now we use our home a lot. There's somebody in the house almost 100% of the time, which is very different than it used to be. But it's a lot of money. If we got $54,000 in 2 months' time, that's more than a whole year of mortgage principal and interest payments. Actually, that's when we refinanced this year at around 3.375% on a jumbo, and that will actually pay I think the whole year of principal, interest, and property tax, or close to it. It's a lot. So 2 months to pay for a whole year of the house. That's a pretty good trade-off. That's 6 to 1. Granted, we'd have to pay for a place to stay if we're not here, right? And so we have to find a place that will accommodate us for 2 months, ideally not having to break that up into 2 different stays and have to move twice. That's by far the worst part is the moving, right? You can outsource part of that, but you still have to do stuff yourself. But for 2 months, have to rent another place out, but probably could get a place for, I don't know, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. That's still a gigantic margin compared to $27,000. So there was a time in our life where this wouldn't even be a question. Like a year ago, 2 years ago. But now we've been working for 5 years. We don't necessarily need the money like we used to. And so it's nice to be in a position where you can say no to things. Would you take the deal? How much would you take? How much would you need to make the deal happen? Post it in the comments. Until tomorrow, everybody. This was a short one. Thanks for joining. Have a good night.